Electrical Installations Permits Committee, IPCO. All electrical and renewable energy installers and suppliers who are not yet certified by MERA or wish to upgrade their classes of permits are encouraged to apply. Application forms can be collected from MERA offices in Development House in City Center in Lilongwe, or in Pico House, Blantyre, or Pico House in Zuzu. Soft copies can be obtained upon request. All prospective candidates will be required to possess and bring during their interviews the following: original copies of their company's registration certificates, original certificate of relevant electrical and or renewable energy academic and professional qualifications, and original certificates of past permits for those wishing to upgrade. The minimum qualifications are Grade 1 National Trade Test and 3 years of practical experience. The closing date for submission of application forms is 20th January 2020. Only shortlisted candidates shall be invited for interviews. Late submissions will not be entertained. For more information, please contact the Chief Executive Officer, Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority, MERA, Private Bag B496, Lilongwe 3. Email mera@meramalawi.mw. Telephone 0999 896 310, 0998 588 091, 088 54 869. My name is Tony Koza with the News Bulletin. First, our top stories at this hour. Business mogul Tom Pinganjira nabbed in connection with attempted bribery on presidential election case judges. HRDC shelves its plan of closing down SEB. Riots rage on as teachers' strike enters day 3. In sports, Flames mentor optimistic of pulling a surprise in 2022 World Cup group stages. We have these and many more. Please stay tuned. Business mogul and chairman of FDH Holdings, Tom Pinganjira, was on Wednesday nabbed by the Anti-Corruption Bureau, SCB, in relation to the attempted bribery on the presidential election case judges. The Bureau took him for interrogation and was later expected to be taken to court. From Blantyre, James Kachepa has the full story.
Well, we are here at the SCB offices in Blantyre, where this morning the officials from the SCB arrested the CEO for FDH Bank, Tom Pinganjira, on allegations that he took part in bribing the judges. He was taken here at SCB, where he was answering some questions, and we were told as well by the SCB Public Relations Officer, Ndala, that after recording the statement from Tom Pinganjira, he will be thereafter taken to court, where the court will also proceed questioning Pinganjira. So what has happened now is that the SCB has just finalized recording statement from Tom Pinganjira. We understand has been taken to Blantyre Police, where will be kept for today, and tomorrow we understand will appear in court to proceed with the answering the allegations that he took part in bribing judges. For Raymond Blantyre, I am James Kachepa.
Wednesday morning, HRDC had given the SCB Director General a 1-week grace period to name the suspects, saying prolonged silence on the matter pointed to executive arrogance. The coalition's chairperson, Timothy Ntambo, threatened to close down the bureau if the bureau decided to keep the names under wraps still. This is part of what Ntambo said during a media briefing in Lilongwe.
So our next course of action is that we have decided to give them an extra 1 week. We are calling it a grace period, where if Matemba wants to come back and tell Malawians the truth about the names, he should do that. But we have asked for him to resign, failure to do that job, because we think this executive arrogance continues in our government, where public officers will mess up, will twist justice, and in the end, when we tell them to resign, they don't. So we are saying we are going to put Matemba in the same category of Jane Answer if he insists not to tell us the names. So we want 1 week period that they should act on this matter. Failure to do that, then the demos of Make and Jane Answer, which we continue holding, we are going to add the issue of Mr. Matemba. After 1 week, we have said we are going to shut down SAB. As our comrades in the north have done to MRI, and we are also going to do the same with SAB. We might even have a vigil for 1 week or so. And this they should prepare. At the expiry of these days, we are going to shut down SCB. We are going to have vigils there until they tell us who are these people who are trying to manipulate justice.
But following Mpenganjira's arrest, HRDC says it has shelved its plan of closing down the SCB offices. Robert Edward engaged the HRDC chairperson.
The SCB should name, arrest, and prosecute the alleged suspects of bribing the judges of Constitutional Court. This means our demand has been met. Mr. Mpenganjira, it means he has been named and he has also been arrested. So what remains for us is the aspect of prosecution. So as such, we are saying we're going to put on hold the demands that we had put about SCB director, and we are going to put on hold our plan to hold vigils. We'll only do that when we think the whole process is being taken for granted, it's not being serious. But for now, we would like to strongly commend Anti-Corruption Bureau for the good job they have done, and would like to commend the leadership under Mr. Matemba for the good job that they have done. This is what we expect from public institutions.
Meanwhile, the highly anticipated landmark court ruling on the presidential election case will be known not later than 3rd February this year. Malawi Judiciary spokesperson Agnes Patemba has confirmed the development while refuting growing social media reports that the judgment is expected to be out by 27th January. Leah Malegano reports.
The long wait for the Constitutional Court ruling on the presidential election dispute is slowly coming to an end. This is the case that has trapped Malawi into a political impasse as Malawi Congress Party and UTM Party are disputing results of the poll and want the court to nullify them. With growing anxiety for the court outcome, social media is awash with reports on when the 5 judges presiding over the case are expected to make known the ruling. Some reports suggest the court will announce the ruling on 27th January. But Malawi Judiciary spokesperson Agnes Patemba has trashed the reports but indicated the ruling could be out not later than 3rd February this year.
There are rumors circulating that judgment will be rendered on January 27th, but the truth is that our judges are still working on the judgment, and Malawians will be informed when the judgment is ready. However, between 27th and 3rd February, the judgment will come out.
She has further distanced the judiciary from some communication going around detailing how security shall be during this period. The country's constitution stipulates 45 days for the judges to deliver their determination, and Wednesday this week marked day number 33, meaning there are only 12 days to go before the ruling, all things being equal. For Rainbow, this is Leah Malegano.
For the second day running, some primary school learners in Mzuzu have destroyed people's property around the city, halting business operations. This is in a push to force authorities pay over 5,000 teachers their December 2019 salaries. On Wednesday, police fired tear gas to calm the situation, and chairperson of Mzuzu Civil Society Network, Peter Mumba, describes the developments as not surprising with the current state of governance. Nkhani with the full story from Mzuzu.
The primary school learners were stoning shops, offices and moving vehicles, in the process disturbing traffic along Mzuzu Dual Carriageway. The learners have not been attending classes since Monday this week, as some of their teachers are staging a sit-in following government's failure to pay them their December salaries. Police on 2 occasions had to fire tear gas to disperse the angry pupils, who reacted by pelting stones at the law enforcers. Some businesses had to close, and the situation went back to normal 1 hour later. But commenting on the development, governance chairperson from Mzuzu City Civil Society Network, Peter Mumba, said this is not surprising. He argues that the learners are simply copying how other quarters in the country have been expressing their anger recently.
There have been violent demonstrations, students, strikes, breaking cars. We have witnessed here Mzuzu University here for the recent what happens. These kids, they're witnessing those things. They are learning from that. There are so many incidences that we have seen, we have witnessed all together. These kids, they're witnessing that. And now, to them, they feel that's the way of doing things when they're angry. Okay. And when you look today, what has happened, it's not that the kids have got a problem, but the problems are with the teachers here. But now you find that these kids, they've even destroyed so many cars in town.
On Tuesday, the learners damaged at least 9 vehicles. Government removed some teachers from the payroll following their failure to submit national identity card numbers, a development which affected about 5,000 teachers countrywide. For Rainbow News, I am Nkhani.
Still with the teachers' nationwide strike, some parents in Blantyre and education rights campaigner Benedicto Kondowe have lamented the current situation and demands government's swift action before things get out of control. From Blantyre, here is Kondwani Piri with a report.
The industrial strike being staged by teachers in public primary and secondary schools across the country over December salaries has entered the 3rd day, as there are no any indication that the standoff with government will end anytime soon. The development has brought worry among some parents who feel the industrial strike will affect the performance of their children in class. This is what one parent told Rainbow in Blantyre.
We as parents are very disappointed with the strike. We appeal to the authority to address the standoff as soon as possible.
Also expressing her disappointment is Elena at Chichiri Primary School, who says the industrial strike by the teachers will affect her studies ahead of the primary school leaving certificate PSLC examinations scheduled for May this year.
It's going to affect me so much because even if you give them the money now, the teacher has to go back. The time which has been wasted, by that time we would have been learning so much. But now we have to go back to the book and start again. I have not been learning since Monday. So I'm very hateful. My friends too are hateful. Since Monday, we're not been learning.
Meanwhile, education expert Benedicto Kondowe has appealed to government to address the standoff quickly, adding that the situation is negatively impacting on education standards in the country. According to Kondowe, teachers are an integral part of any country's development, hence the need for the authority to ensure that they are provided with the necessary support. Teachers in public, primary and secondary schools across the country have down their tools since Monday this week in solidarity with their colleagues who were omitted from the December payroll for failure to submit their national IDs as per directive. For Rainbow Blantyre, I'm Kondwani Piri.
You're watching Rainbow News. We'll be back after this short break.
Chili chonse akukupatsirani uthengawu ndi unduna wa zaumoyo ndi a National AIDS Commission NAC mogwirizana ndi Manet Plus ndi thandizo la Action Aid.
Welcome back. You're with me, Tony Koza. Continuing with our news, remarks by presidential aide Francis Mpebo that northerners are ungrateful might result into the closure of Malawi Revenue Authority's revenue collection borders if Mpebo and President Peter Mutharika do not apologize. The anti-quota movement chairperson, Vina Shawa, says the sentiments are evident enough that the DPP-led administration does not care about the northern region. Tabiwa Mvula has more.
The sentiments that were made by the presidential advisor on political affairs, Francis Mpebo, a few days ago have received many criticism from the public domain and other political parties. 2 days ago, the UTM party condemned the sentiments, saying the remarks were divisive, irresponsible, and far beneath the dignity of the holder of the high office of the senior advisor to the president. On Wednesday, the Quota Must Fall movement has also condemned the remarks by Mpebo as an insult to people from the north, alleging that they have not seen tangible development from the past 10 years. According to the chairperson for the movement, Bina Shawa, they have joined other people who have spoken on the unfortunate remarks, knowing that education standards can only be achieved when developments are available.
And for us as Quota Must Fall movement, we are saying these policies are bad for our children from the development point of view, from education point of view, from the social point of view. Everything impacts on the children.
Shawa added that President Peter Mutharika, together with his advisor Francis Mpebo, should apologize to people in the north for making discriminatory remarks, while other ministers should just resign.
You are dismantling this country. You are not building it. You cannot talk of unity for Malawi. At the point when Malawi needs national building, somebody comes with such remarks. And therefore, any sensible person who has heard this remark and is committed to national building of Malawi and is wishing every Malawian well, then he has a moral obligation to resign, because you cannot be associated with such bad, irresponsible, discriminatory policy. That's why we're saying they should resign.
Meanwhile, the movement has threatened to mobilize other groups in the region to stop government from collecting revenue from all border posts in the north if the government fails to address the issue as soonest. For Rainbow News, this is Tabiwa Mvula.
And now we move on to business news. Government is being faulted for its alleged relaxed approach in exploring alternative tobacco markets with current restrictions the United States government has placed on the crop. Vice Chairperson of the Agriculture Committee of Parliament, Ulemukira Bondwa, says they are not satisfied with repeated assurances authorities are giving to local farmers in the face of the restrictions. Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Gray Nyandule Piri, referred us to Tobacco Commission, whose Corporate Planning and Development Manager, Hillings Nasoni, fell short of disclosing measures being put in place to avert the impending market challenges. Catherine Banda reports.
There are growing concerns that there might be less competition on this season tobacco market despite government assurance to curb the problem. This follows restrictions the U.S. government has placed on Malawian tobacco, bordering on use of forced labor in the production of the commodity that is the country's largest forex earner. In the past months, government has been downplaying the issue, a development that has not pleased the Parliamentary Committee on Agriculture that calls on authorities to explore alternative markets to avoid panicking the local farmers at the 11th hour. The committee's vice chairperson, Ulemukira Bondwa, has not hidden their dissatisfaction on how the Malawi government is handling the matter.
We still felt unsatisfied because we knew that this can lead to poor prices on the market. The Ministry of Agriculture, through Tobacco Commission and all other players in the industry, to look for alternative markets if this will continue to be blocked as it is currently.
Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Grain and Lepiri, referred us to the Tobacco Commission to get interventions government has in place. But the TC's Corporate Planning and Development Manager, Hennings Nason, said they are working with the ministry to solve the matter, but could not disclose the measures.
Okay, as you're aware indeed that there is that communication, we wish to advise that this is a government-to-government discussion level, so the discussions are still ongoing, and at an opportune time, in due course, Malawians will be informed of the outcome.
Early this year, Malawi Network Against the Trafficking in Persons said 40 companies dealing in Malawi's tobacco are stuck and cannot have entry into the US. For Rainbow News, I'm Catherine Banda.
Finally, we look at sports news. Flames head coach Mege Mwase hopes the team can pull a surprise in Group D of the 2022 FIFA Qatar World Cup. The team has been paired against Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire and Mozambique. Paul Galaje with a report.
Following group stages draw of 2022 FIFA Qatar World Cup qualifiers on Tuesday, Malawi the Flames has been drawn in Group D alongside Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire and Mozambique. According to some soccer analysts, the only team which appears to be easy for Malawi is Mozambique, as African reigning champions Cameroon and Cote d'Ivoire seem to be the toughest opponents for Malawi. Last meeting between Flames and Cote d'Ivoire was in 2009 in African Cup of Champions qualifiers, whose finals took place in Angola in 2010. Following Flames' inconsistent performance in the past years, people have cast doubt if Flames can perform wonders in this group, saying Cameroon and Cote d'Ivoire are on top of Flames in terms of performance. But Flames head coach Mege Mwase says Malawi has chances to qualify through the Group D despite being one of the underdogs, which people have described it as crucial with the presence of Cameroon and Cote d'Ivoire. From all the 10 groups, one team from each will make it into the next round. Flames booked its slot in 2 group stages after beating Botswana by 1-0 in preliminary round. Group stages games are expected to start in October this year. For Rainbow and Blantyre, this is Paul Kalaje.
And that item is the last in the news at this hour. But let's have another look at the major stories before we go. Business mogul Tom Mpinganjira nabbed in connection with attempted bribery on presidential election case judges. HRDC shelves its plan of closing down ACB. Riots rage on as teachers' strike enters day 3. In sports, Flames mentor optimistic of pulling a surprise in 2022 World Cup group stages. You've been with me, Tony Koza. Thanks for watching and bye for now. Applications for interviews for issuance of electrical installations permits. The Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority, MERA, invites eligible electrical and renewable energy installers and suppliers to apply for certification interviews to be conducted by the Electrical Installations Permits Committee, IPCO. All electrical and renewable energy installers and suppliers who are not yet certified by MERA or wish to upgrade their classes of permits are encouraged to apply. Application forms can be collected from MERA offices in Development House in City Center in Lilongwe, or in Pico House, Blantyre, or Pico House in Zuzu. Soft copies can be obtained upon request. All prospective candidates will be required to possess and bring during their interviews the following: original copies of their company's registration certificates, original certificate of relevant electrical and or renewable energy academic and professional qualifications, and original certificates of past permits for those wishing to upgrade. The minimum qualifications are Grade 1 National Trade Test and 3 years of practical experience. The closing date for submission of application forms is 20th January 2020. Only shortlisted candidates shall be invited for interviews. Late submissions will not be entertained. For more information, please contact the Chief Executive Officer, Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority, MERA, Private Bag B496, Lilongwe 3. Email mera@meramalawi.mw. Telephone 0999 896 310, 0998 588 091, 084 869.